And so jumping into defining what is AI native, and in our view, essentially an AI native business, and a lot of people dabble in AI, and they deploy solutions in terms of invoice processing or kind of onboarding. But really where you're changing the game is when you look at a company and look at its core operations, its reason for existence. And if you're starting to digitize those services in terms of why a company exists, that's where you start to shift the dial and move a company to becoming a more AI native approach. So looking at those core value chains, leveraging AI for the decisional kind of decisional logic around that, and then leveraging kind of high speed real-time automation to kind of sync that together. And you might be using machine vision to look at documents, classify document types, extract information, to potentially understanding kind of and routing of emails in terms of their subjects and kind of body. And so kind of using that whole cohesive suite to create digital service value chains within companies. And so in terms of looking at what a non-AI native business looks like. So companies today, traditionally, for every dollar that they're spending on average, they're going to be spending about 65 cents on operating cost of that company. And so when you get into the details of the value chains of these companies, it's a mesh of a whole bunch of ERPs and enterprise resource systems, sales management systems, and it's all glued together through emails, humans moving information around in a very disparate way. And the problem with that is it's not necessarily scalable, and it's really expensive. And so when you scale companies like this, the operating cost, although you might get some forms of efficiency, generally your operating cost scales out quite significantly as you scale the revenue of those companies as well. And so you don't have a lot of capacity to hire people in terms of more strategic thinking and building the machine as to opposed to kind of working in the machine. And so when you move towards a more AI native business, essentially what you're doing is saying, let's look at where we're doing execution, see how we can kind of digitize that through forms of AI and automation, and then uplift everybody's job to take on a more strategic focus going forward. And generally what happens then is you kind of drop your operating costs by generally a factor of a third. And you create this really scalable kind of system that as your revenue scales, and you can dynamically scale your operations down to kind of 10 clients or up to 100 million clients if you want to. It really doesn't matter. It's just, you really just need to turn the dial to kind of get the level of operation capacity that you need.